Hello and welcome to another edition of Nation Building. On this program, we examine the political, social, and moral issues in the leadership of the Bahamas. And on our program today, we're pleased to have with us Mr. Gadville McDonald, who is the Free National Movement's candidate for the Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey constituency. When we come back from this break, we'll speak with Mr. McDonald and see what he has in store for the people of that constituency.
Time is money, and when you need more of both, fly Western Air. 12 flights daily between Nassau and Freeport. At Western Air, your 11th round trip is always free. Flights to Marsh Harbor coming soon.
Said you can't get great quality products at an affordable price. If you want the best quality food products at the most affordable prices, you must pick up the Jamaica Bahama brand of fine quality products at your favorite food store. Products like Jamaica Bahama Coconut Water, the most healthy and refreshing drink on the market. Jamaica Bahama Fruit Punch, the only fruit punch in the Bahamas made from real fruit. Jamaica Bahama Coconut Milk, green pigeon peas with coconut milk, condensed milk, kidney beans with coconut milk, corned beef, green pigeon peas, mackerel, and corn. Jamaica Bahama's fine line of products is available at all your favorite food stores and convenience stores nationwide. Telephone 351-8282 in Freeport and 341-4091 in Nassau. I don't want to win. No, no, I don't want to win.
It's a new day. This is our new day. And in the blue glow of the morning, there's still time to reach back into our dreams. To become dreamers in the daylight. And live our lives and hopes with open eyes. Yes, this is the day to do the things that will fill our lives with joy and with love. Dreamers in the daylight. Anything is possible. This is our new day. We are alive.
Hello and welcome back to Nation Building. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock, and as mentioned earlier, we are with the Free National Movement's candidate, Mr. Gadville McDonald, and he is running in the constituency of San Salvador, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey.
Absolutely.
Mr. McDonald, welcome to Nation Building.
It's good to be here, Pinnock.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Absolutely.
Mr. McDonald, you are no stranger to politics, even though you're still a young man.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about your political history today and also to press you on the issues that you are offering to the people of Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey. But before we do that, we want to, for those who is not fully up to speed with your background and your history, want to give you an opportunity to tell the nation and tell the people of the constituency that you are vying for a little, or remind them in some cases of who you are.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, Pinnock, I had a wonderful opportunity to born and grow up in Cat Island at a time when there was this idea of anything is possible. And so my worldview was shaped there in Cat Island. My mother is from San Salvador, so I born and grow up in Cat Island. I had to leave Kid Island at the age when I was almost ready to leave high school, but they were robbing our teachers or robbing our schools out of a lot of the teachers. And so what I had to do is I had to move into Nassau to finish my high school education. And from there I went off to university, got involved in a number of student leadership issues, was able to lead 40,000 students at Florida International University in student government. So I was deeply involved in shaping policies, transforming student lives at the University of Florida International University. I studied accounting. I also attended the College of the Bahamas prior to going off to Florida International University. And I returned home, went in banking, had a phenomenal career in banking over a short period of time because I was a very, how should I say, industrious individual, was focused on business. I started my company at a very young age. I was able to employ over 16 young persons in manufacturing, etc. And from then, I've been involved in business. I've been involved in leadership. I lead one of the largest leadership organizations right now in the country, where we train over 600 local leaders every year. That is the Global Leadership Summit. That is linked with the Global Leadership Summit International, where we train over 305,000 leaders in 125 countries. And so leadership is one of the things that I'm focused on. That's what I've been doing for more than 10 years now. Presently, I lead a Life Empowerment Church. It is an emerging local church that is innovative, focused on developing people and bringing them into their full potential. And so for me, I've been around politics, as you know, for a little while. I pulled out of politics because I was a little bit frustrated with the results that we were getting at the present time. I used to be a part of the CDR when I was much younger. When I first came from university, I ran in Kid Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador at that particular time. I withdrew from politics, got deeply involved in leading my local church and the other leadership positions that I held. And I just literally saw that, that nothing was changing in my constituency. Nothing was changing in the place where I born and grow up. Every level that we look at, every measuring stick we look at, we saw that there was a constant decline. And so I felt the need to get involved. I believe that I'm uniquely shaped to bring about some transformation in that community, to partner with the persons who are from there, who are living there in Kid Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador, to bring about a new and improved Kid Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador.
Okay. And you did an effective job in presenting your background, but I'd like to hone in with a little more detail on a few points and a few parts of that, of what you shared.
Right.
And let's start by clarifying. You said you were born and raised in Cat Island.
Absolutely.
Went to Artistown.
Artistown High. That's right.
And then you moved to Nassau to finish high school.
That's right.
You left to the Bahamas to go off to FIU at what age, or what year was it?
I was about 21, 22. Yeah, okay. but around that little, yeah, probably but around 22, somewhere around that.
And
yeah.
You spent how many years in the U.S.?
Well, I spent 3 years there, but prior to that, I attended the College of the Bahamas after graduating from high school.
Right,
yeah.
which is the route for many.
Absolutely.
Many of our people who, especially who did not have the financial means to just
Absolutely.
go off to college immediately. So you acquired a
bachelor's degree in accounting.
In accounting.
Yeah.
And so you went into banking.
Right.
What bank did you work for?
Well, I used to be at Royal Bank. I was in management at Royal Bank for a number of years. Yeah. When I came from university, they accepted me right into their management training program, and yeah.
So you did well. How long you stayed with Royal Bank?
About 3 years. I've been in Royal Bank about 3 years.
You mentioned that you started your own business. What type of business was it?
Well, it was manufacturing and emerged into a number of different things. I started out with manufacturing wood blinds, mini blinds, etc. And the company kept growing. It kept moving from one thing into the next. Okay. I told you I had about 16 young persons on staff. Many of those persons were from my birthplace of Cat Island, because I was engaging Cat Island from there.
You are very much into all things Cat Island.
Absolutely. You know what? I mean, I tell you, I had a wonderful experience growing up in Cat Island. And my mother always referred to us and let us know about her upbringing in San Salvador. We would go over there periodically just to see where she grew up, and it was an exciting experience
And your
for us.
dad?
My father is from Cat Island. He born and grew up in Cat Island.
So, and your parents are still alive?
No, absolutely not. Mom and dad, they died, but left a wonderful heritage.
Good. And so what is it that, where is the connection in Cat Island today as far as, I know your parents, you said, are passed. Do you still have a lot of family members there?
Absolutely. I have a lot of family members in Cat Island. A lot of my high school friends are still in Cat Island. And we just have a ball of a time when I get in Cat Island. I mean, just to reconnect.
So you're right at home campaigning
Absolutely.
there? Because
Absolutely.
Your residence is in Nassau, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, good. All right. So with the history that you had and the love and the passion, it took you back to the CDR in 2002.
Yeah.
What brought you from starting your own business, getting your degree, succeeding in banking, to deciding I want to be a candidate to contest?
Well, I'm a leadership person. I believe that everything rises and falls on leadership. My life lesson has taught me that. Very often people shy away from the responsibility of transforming communities and transforming lives. I believe that that's a unique opportunity to do that. We have a unique opportunity at this present time to do that. And so for me, it has been all about how could I contribute to the development of the place where I was born and where I grew up. I tell you, my worldview of a better place, my worldview in terms of where I am right now, was all shaped in Cat Island. So everything for me continued to go back to that place called Cat Island. And so I'm excited. I mean, Pinnock, I want you to know I'm excited about the opportunity, because here's what when I look at Cat Island, I saw that more over the last decades, I mean more than 40 years plus, it has been on a constant decline. And I say to myself that, listen, this trend cannot continue. If we continue to do the same thing that we've been doing, it will continue. And so I said to myself that we have to be more intentional with changing the trajectory of where Cat Island is right now. And so for me, I made up in my mind that, you know what, I'm going to take a deep dive. I'm going to look at Cat Island. And that's what I've been doing over the years.
So again, just to go back to
right.
When you decided to be a candidate in 2002, this passion that led you to become a candidate, let's talk about that experience. Once you decided, why the CDR? Why not the PLP or the FNM at that time, in 2002?
Well, I was a young person.
And were you connected to any political party?
None. I can say this. I've always been, connected with the FNM in terms of their philosophy, etc. I remember graduating from high school, voting for the first time. I was all excited about the possibility.
What year was that?
That was around 87. And so I was all 86, 87? Yeah, somewhere. Yeah. 87. And I was all excited about the possibility of bringing about change. And so that's why I voted then. I went off to, I was a part of the change in 1992. Was all excited. That was right before I went off to university. As a matter of fact, I went to university in 1992. And so I was excited about the change. That when I came home, after graduating from university, I had connected with a group of progressive thinking people who were spending some time focusing on how they can develop a different Bahamas. I think a lot of us had believed that we were on a path that was moving in terms of decline, and we wanted to change it. All right, and so I was a part of a body of ideas, and that for me, that's what I tell people. The CDR has always been about. It's always been about ideas. It was never about individual. It was always about ideas. And really, the truth is, what connected me to the FNM at this present time is the fact that the FNM is all about ideas. It's all about a better Bahamas. And I'm excited about it. We don't get involved in the petty politics. We focus on coming up with policies that will pivot our country, change our country for the better.
Okay. Now, So you became a candidate. What attracted you specifically to the CDR? You said you were supportive of the FNM prior to that. Why did you move away from the FNM despite seeing yourself line up with its philosophy in 87 and 92? Why did you become
simply because at that present time I just graduated from university, coming back home. There was a group of young persons that were focusing on developing the country in a unique way, trying to tap into the full potential of the Bahamas as we know it. And I got involved in those discussions, and I saw that we were going somewhere, and I became a part of the CDR.
And so for you,
it was about ideas.
For you, the ideas that the CDR sold at the time impacted you, and you thought the Free National Movement nor the Progressive Liberal Party was prepared to move in that direction. And so,
well, not necessarily so per se. I mean, for me, here's what it was. I was a part of those ideas. That's what is so unique. I was intricately involved in the shaping of that organization, putting those ideas together. And what is so amazing, that's what community is all about. That's what connection is all about. And I connected with a group of young persons, like thinking individual, who was focused in the manner in which, on the things that I was focused on.
So you ran as a candidate in the general elections of 2002. At that time, you secured 28 votes. Mm-hmm. You decided to leave the CDR. What happened? What was the next shift?
Well, after all of us, I think we did an assessment, an analysis on the organization. A lot of us came to the conclusion at that present time, persons like the late Charles Maynard, persons like Fenton, persons yourself, we came to that conclusion that, listen, that none of us were going into another election in that particular manner, simply because we believe that the country was not ready for third party, and despite the fact that we had some significant ideas, some phenomenal ideas, we just believed that persons were not ready, and we didn't want to waste time. We wanted to get involved in nation building.
And you are involved in nation building today, believe it or not, you are.
Absolutely.
But just as a side note, but as we look back with focus, as a young man, having walked that road, of personally gone into the plunge, diving in, not succeeding, I'm sure it must have been disappointed for you. Your next move was, did you consider looking then, after deciding with the group that, this wouldn't work, people would not accept this idea? Did you have an opportunity to choose the FNM or the PLP? Did you come to that place?
Not at the present time. I pulled away from politics.
Okay.
I think when Charles Maynard and some of them went over to the Free National Movement, I had two offers, and I decided to remain neutral at that present time.
And if my information is correct, in your pulling away, you focused on the church. Is that
I focused on church. I focused on trying to get my business back together. I came out of the election in 2002 flat broke. I mean, I spent all of my
politics is expensive.
spent all of my money pursuing that dream, and I had a young daughter at that present time, and God blessed me with a son, and so my focus was on family. My focus was on contributing to the development of my family and transforming life, and I did that through the church. And I focused on leadership. I began to make some significant inroad, coached by some of the world's best leaders. So I focus on self-development.
Good. And so when we come back from the break, we're going to deal with some current matters, weighty matters. Hope you're prepared for it. You're watching Nation Building. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Time is money, and when you need more of both, fly Western Air. 12 flights daily between Nassau and Freeport. At Western Air, your 11th round trip is always free. Flights to Marsh Harbor coming soon.
Hello, I'm Wendell Jones, and every time I sit down and I watch JCN television, I drink the Jamaica Bahama fruit juice. It's so pleasing to the palate.
I've been cooking Bahamian dishes for generations. I now use Jamaica Bahamas product. The rice is very fluffy, very tasty, and good eating. Jamaica Bahama product is simply the best.
As an insurance agent, my life is go, go, go. But whenever I need a refreshing break, it's Jamaica Bahamas Island Mixed Fruit Drink. Good.
Hi, I'm Debbie Bartlett from GEMS 105.9 FM. The effect that Island Junkanoo Juice Medley has on me is exhilarating.
You bring passion, and we bring world-class infrastructure and innovation that's designed to help your business grow. You have determination. We've got your back with a super-fast LTE network, giving you access to whatever you need, when you need it. You offer superior service, we put you in control. With a dedicated care team to look after your business 24/7. Together, we have the advantage. Alive. Let's do this.
Welcome back to Nation Building. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock, and I'm here today with the candidate for the Free National Movement for the constituency of Cat Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador, Mr. Gadville McDonald. An Mr. McDonald, I don't know if you care to comment on this, but if I'm not mistaken, you had an opportunity, I'm told, to be the FNM's candidate in the 2007 general election for Cat Island. Is that so? Were you given an offer by the then leader?
Well, the call did come to me. It did come, but at that present time, I was a newly ordained pastor, just accepted the call to ministry. My family was young, and I decided to opt out at that present time. Now, I supported my friends. I was there for them, but I did not accept that offer.
And you meant the late Charles
Maynard
in particular, and those who came out of the CDR. So, Mr. McDonald, you have representing that younger generation. We always refer to people like the late Charles Maynard, Fenton, people like Shivago Lang and Darren Cash, and so many other young people, Gabriella Frazier.
Absolutely.
So many of that generation, that under 50 or around 50 generation, Dr. Ian Strawn.
Yeah.
I like to say that certainly in my lifetime, that generation represents, if not the brightest, one of the brightest generation of Bahamian revolutionary thinkers. And I've said on this program on several occasions, none of them has made it, very few of them has made it up to a high level of leadership.
And there's a reason for that.
What is the reason?
The reason, because you know what? There is a leadership gap. For a long time, there's been a leadership gap in our country. You would find persons like even now, the current prime minister in his 70s, just don't want to exit the scene. And so what happens is, I believe there's been an intentional effort to marginalize those of us who are of that particular age, because we were different in our mindset.
But what are you all doing, though, to step up and to power is not going to be given?
Absolutely not. And we've been engaging over the years, and I think we, even right now, and I think we have reached that point now where you see a lot of us are now involved, but we have been engaging, and I think maybe we have been too passive, and because we grew up with that level of respect and respecting our elders, etc. But you come to the realization that, listen, you have to engage, and you have to engage with a level of focus to say, listen, regardless of the barrier, you're going to get involved in the process. And the truth is, some of us we've been discouraged.
Is it not true, not agreeing with your point earlier, that you have been too passive a generation in spite of your gifts and talent?
Yeah.
There are some radicals in the group. I could think of people like, I'd say, Michael Pintard. Mm-hmm. Even though even though Alfred Sayers is not a part of your generation, but he is a tear-up, but represents some of that passion, some of those ideas as well. So that they exist in both political parties. There are young progressive thinkers. They just don't have the decision-making powers.
Right. But you know what? What is so amazing is when you look at our age category and that generation, our generation, you'd find out that many of us maybe did not emerge to the forefront of political parties, but we've been doing some significant things in our own life in terms of engaging the culture and trying to.
But to what end, though? What is the result? You yourself complained about the fact that you have a prime minister that is almost 75, I believe. You have, I don't know, Dr. Minister's in his 60s, if I'm not mistaken. But the tear of leaders at that level, prime minister, deputy, these are people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond.
You know, we are a young generation, and it takes a while.
But not to interrupt too much. But if it takes a while, you will be in your 70s probably before your generation gets an opportunity, because if you have Prime Minister Christie and his generation in mid-70s, you have the O.B. Wilshcombs and Fred Mitchells and all those other bright men and women who are looking to succeed Christie. And if they succeed, then they want to be there for at least 2 or 3 terms. I mean, when will...
And therefore, that's why you see me getting involved. That's why other persons of my age category, we're getting involved now. And it magnifies the urgency of now. I mean, this is a moment. We are at this moment when we have to seize the opportunity to bring about change. That's why I love the Free National Movement. I love what we are doing and the change that we're leading out. Let's then focus in on the Free National Movement, your party.
You are following a movement which you were attracted to from earlier days. So I won't get into pressing you on why. I think it's clear that you share some of the values of or the traditional values of the FNM, or philosophy, that is.
Absolutely.
Why you took a back seat, now you're back in 2007.
Right.
Why now? What is it? What was so pivotal that made you change your mind? After all, you were given an opportunity to run years ago in 2007 that you declined.
Right. Well, I'm at a different place. I've worked on myself. I've gone through my epiphany, and I came to the realization that, I've been called for this, that I've been prepared for this, shaping. I believe that all things work together for good, for them who are called according to the purpose of God. And so for me, I believe that I've been shaped for this.
Do you see this as a spiritual journey?
Well, for me, that's my worldview. I see all things from that perspective. But beyond that, I've connected with leaders, with a leader, and with individuals who understand the moment, who understand the time, that is not a focus on us, but is now focused on the people. It's time for us to pivot away from individuals and focus on what the people issue.
Yeah, that's a nice slogan, Mr. McDonald. But I mean, while the FNM has a great slogan, a catchy slogan, and that's a part of electioneering, what specifically? Give me a few specific ideas that you see that translate into it's the people's time.
Right. Well, let's focus on this for a moment. Let's drive it back to the leader. Here's an individual who does not seek to lord over people. He respects process. Not only that, but he's humble enough to listen to individuals around the table in shaping policies and ideas.
Mind you, his critics would disagree with you, when it comes to the whole concept of respecting process.
Well, if you talk to me, if you talk to the other candidates that sits around the table now, the 38 candidates that are part of the Free National Movement right now, they would tell you that's what it's all about. If you look at the caliber of
39.
39, if you look at the caliber of leaders that we have attracted, the FNM has attracted to the organization at this present time. You can't say that all of us sit down and realize that our leader didn't have potential. He has phenomenal, he's a phenomenal leader, and he respects our ideas. And as a matter of fact, you know, for myself in particular, I had a lot to do with the development of our Family Island plan and the ideas that emerged out of that. And so most of them were accepted. I'm a Family Island guy. I've been shaped in Family Island development. My worldview has been shaped in these Family Islands. And so when I see that the ideas and the things that I would like to see happen and the policies that is necessary to move Family Island ahead is being accepted, and we're having what we call wonderful debate on the new Bahamas, that excites me, man. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it.
Would you say, Mr. McDonald, that the criticisms that Dr. Minnis has and the shots that he has taken from some of his colleagues, former colleagues, is unwarranted, without merit? Is there, because you see a different side, and many others who see a different side, obviously, of the leader, and presents a different side of the leader. Not that he has two, but there are two different opinions being put forward. One of him being very thoughtful, very focused, and pretty much goal-oriented. The other of him being very venomous, very spiteful, quick to cut people off, you know, whatever. I don't want to get into the details of it, but there are two sides. And so what you present to us today is a very thoughtful leader who creates room for young men and women like yourself. If that is true, then what is it about this issue that have developed over the years? What do you think has been the cause of that? Well, and the reason why I asked this question for the viewers, you know, people are seeing the average person who doesn't get involved in the inner workings of party politics have seen two sides of the FNM. They've seen what is now presented, and I think Dr. Minnis must be credited for doing what he has set out to do, I believe, which is to bring about a new team of people and a united team as far as the team he has presented. But there's something also to be said about the team that he had that has been divided, and most of it have been retired.
You know, Pinnock, you're a leader. You lead an organization. One of the things that I discovered and I learned in my leadership journey is that bringing about change is never easy. It doesn't come without friction. And whenever you're bringing about change in an organization, you expect the status quo, you expect individuals or persons who want to go in a different direction to kick against that. But at the end of the day, if you give that leader sufficient room, you would see the evidence, you would see his vision emerge. And I believe the Bahamian people at this present time, in spite of what we have gone through in the organization, they're now seeing that, you know what, that here's a leader who is focused on bringing about real change in the organization. All right, and so here's what you had. You had a situation. For me, I classify it as status quo versus change. But the idea is for us, when you look at us now in the Free National Movement, we are united. We are one political organization. We focus on winning the upcoming general election, and we're ready to lead from day one.
Okay, let's jump and talk about some issues that in your platform, this whole idea of reform. One of the planks of reform that I've heard you personally talk about in the past, Mr. McDonald, is the whole concept of election debate and recall system and so many of these other reform ideas, for lack of a better term. Where do you stand today on the whole issue of debates?
Well, you know, I believe the biggest debate for us to have is a debate or a conversation with the Bahamian people. That's what I've been doing in my.
But Mr. McDonald, you can't debate the people that you're going to represent.
It's about having a conversation with them.
Between candidates, between party leaders.
Right, but it's about having a conversation with the people. For us, is about us being able to do life with people. It's about us being able to connect with our voters, to share our vision of a better tomorrow, of a brighter Bahamas, of a better Bahamas, a Bahamas that involve them. And that trumps anything else, because really it's about the people.
But have you abandoned your first these pronouncements that you've made in the past of wanting significant reform inclusive of electoral debates?
Listen, for me, I would debate the candidate of Kid Island any day.
Any day.
And as a matter of fact, I challenge him to have a debate with me about the future of Kid Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador. For me, that's me.
Do you think that should be a standard moving forward for all candidates, including, of course, party leaders? Should we have, as a part of the New Bahamas, a forum where candidates must debate each other to provide people with real-time analysis of where they stand on major issues?
Listen, I mean, the times are changing, our culture is changing, and like I said before, Pinnock, it's very important for us to have a constant conversation and give them sufficient opportunity to question us on issues and to address their concerns in meaningful ways.
Good. You're watching Nation Building. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock, and we'll be right back with the Free National Movement's candidate for Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey, Mr. Gadville McDonald, right after this break.
Time is money, and when you need more of both, fly Western Air. 12 flights daily between Nassau and Freeport. At Western Air, your 11th round trip is always free. Flights to Marsh Harbor coming soon.
Who said you can't get great quality products at an affordable price? If you want the best quality food products at the most affordable prices, you must pick up the Jamaica Bahama brand of fine quality products at your favorite food store. Products like Jamaica Bahama Coconut Water, the most healthy and refreshing drink on the market. Jamaica Bahama Fruit Punch, the only fruit punch in the Bahamas made from real fruit. Jamaica Bahama Coconut Milk, green pigeon peas with coconut milk, condensed milk, kidney beans with coconut milk, corned beef, green pigeon peas, mackerel, and corn. Jamaica Bahama's fine line of products is available at all your favorite food stores and convenience stores nationwide. Telephone 351-8282 in Freeport and 341-4091 in Nassau. I don't wanna win.
Alive knows what you do today will determine the success of your tomorrow. So we've invested in world-class infrastructure and innovation so every business in the Bahamas can grow. Like our online business account that lets you manage all your business mobiles simply and efficiently through one portal. From adding users and numbers to drilling down where you can view details of individual data, calls, and texts to providing an immediate overview of usage month on month. We put you in control. Our people are here to help your business grow. Our relationship managers take the time to understand your business. And with our care team and our Alive stores, we are there to support your business needs. So let's work together, Bahamas. Let's grow together. Let us be part of your team. Let's do this.
Welcome back to Nation Building. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock, and I'm here today with the candidate for the Free National Movement for the constituency of Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey. Mr. McDonald, you are seeking for the second time to offer yourself to the people of Cat Island. Mm-hmm. You ran in 2002, and you ran under the CDR's banner, and you ended up with 28 votes. The then Member of Parliament, the winner of that race was Mr. Philip Brave Davis. Absolutely. He got 843 votes, and James Miller at the time got 418 votes. For a Family Island constituency, that was a landslide in 2002. In 2004, 2007, Mr. Davis got 809 votes. Then he ran against Gladys Sands for the Free National Movement, who got 583 votes. Again, a landslide for a Family Island constituency. Do you agree?
I hear you.
In 2012, the race tightened significantly. Candidate for the FNM then was Mr. Michael Pintard, and he lost that constituency by what was a relatively short, slim margin, 81 votes. Still, I guess for a constituency, a Family Island constituency, a sizable enough defeat. And some say that Michael Pintard put up a fierce battle. In fact, I've been told that you might have been involved in helping in that campaign.
Yeah, Michael is a friend of mine.
You knew firsthand what it took to go up against Mr. Philip Brave Davis.
Absolutely.
Not only as a candidate, but as someone engineering from the background. Here you are, a third time, not a third time as a candidate, but a third time attempting to do what has been a pattern of failed attempts at unseating the country's deputy prime minister. So what I want to find out from you today, sir, and for you to share with our viewers is, what gave you the courage to go up against Mr. Philip Brave Davis with the track record he has had at putting away FNM candidates?
My love for my community, and the fact that over 21 years in that constituency, in Kid Island constituency proper, that he's now just talking about laying foundation, and that people live, that they're frustrated, that they realize that he is lacked in terms of bringing about the change that they're looking for. And so I think people at this present time, they're hungry for change. They're hungry for employment. They're hungry for a better community. They're hungry for a better economy, one that focuses on them, one that incorporates them, one of opportunities, and one that of empowerment.
If you are right, Mr. McDonald, how comes in 2002, 2007, 2012, those constituents didn't see the need to, or their situation, was it much different than it is today? Is there anything that has changed that significantly?
Well, in terms in the island, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, it has declined. Or in every measurement you look at, it has declined. The economy is literally in the dump. Kid Island has no economy. Rumkey has no economy.
Did they have one in 2012?
Literally. Well, it was not as bad as it is now, but it has worsened over the years. And not only that, but there's a different culture. There's a different set demographic. The demographic is different. I think we have a younger demographic. We have a more informed demographic that is now hungry to bring about change, hungry for the development of their islands. I mean, when you sit and you talk to locals in the community now, persons who I grew up with, who I went to high school with, they've been living in misery for the last couple of years, and they're saying now they want to seize the opportunity to partner to bring about real transformation.
And some would say that when the electioneering machinery of the Progressive Liberal Party and that of Philip Brave Davis, our Deputy Prime Minister, kicks in, those same people who now, you say, complain of having these issues, many of them will simply get involved and ride the train of excitement and parties and whatever it is that goes on. Have you factored that in?
Well, I have, and I'm not getting that from the people. I believe, there's a saying that you could fool the people some of the time, but you can't fool the people all the time. I think for the last election in particular, there was this carrot hanging over the people that here's a guy that is making a lot of promises, and he has the potential of being the next deputy prime minister. The carrot at that present time was that, listen, you know what? I'll be able to sign the checks on behalf of the people of Kid Island, to get some things going. I'll be able to sign the checks on behalf of the people in San Salvador. I'll be able to sign the checks on behalf of the people in Rumpke. 5 years later, the people are still looking for the significant things that was promised.
Are you accusing our current Deputy Prime Minister of not signing those checks or doing the things?
Well, ask the people of Kid Island. They've yet to see the transformation that he spoke about. The employment is still in the tank. Unemployment is high in Kid Island. The economy is in the tank. The airport that was promised within, I think it was 100 days, or that would start. Nothing happened yet. The police station. I mean, you should see the pictures. You should see Kid Island. It's in a deplorable state. Check Rumpke. People in Rumpke are still. Here's now. Back then they had a dock. Today they don't. Here's what they're doing. They are literally transporting people from off boats, right? Mail boats by crane onto the island. Today it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And what we offer is a better Kid Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador.
What assurances would you give people that if you are successful,
absolutely,
5 years from today, we wouldn't be sitting here having the conversation with someone else claiming that Gadville McDonald have failed to deliver on what he promised? Okay,
so and I'm glad to answer that question, Pinnock. Here's what we have done. We have been, I told you before that we've been focusing on people. We've been focused on policies that would literally transform our islands, our family islands. And so we've come up with a number of policies that is beyond the member of parliament, that focuses on people. For example, that's what talk about. Let's talk about. There are three things pillars that we focus on in our family. One is improve and empower local government. The next one is an empowered economy or economic empowerment in our family island, right? Three is the provision of all essential services and better quality education. When we look at improve and empowered local government, you look at this idea, this grander idea, where the local government is going to be empowered in such a way where they will play a key role in their own development and growth. I coined it as island development rights. And so I'm saying that our party is going to, the Free National Movement government is going to grant to each island what is called this rights to its own development and growth. Rather than allowing central government to dictate to them, they will be at the table making crucial decisions about their own island development and growth. That's transfigurational. I mean, it's about the people. It's about people getting involved. We say in our party that, you know what, local representation leads to better local results. And so we're saying we're going to grant them the opportunity to be at the table. They're going to be able to put together their own economic council to plan out the strategic development of their island. And what's going to happen is right up front, central government is going to say, listen, this is what we can do. At the same time, they will be granted an opportunity for the first time to raise capital for specific projects. So for example, in the case of the airport in Kid Island, rather than central government saying, listen, we don't have the money, local government can have the conversation with them. Okay, what do you have? And so central government will be able to say right up front, this is what we have. And so local government will be able to say, you know what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and raise the additional capital.
Where would a local government raise capital from on an island like Cat Island?
Absolutely.
That does not have very much in the offering in terms of not the days of great farming, a farming industry or fishing. What is going on in Cat Island, or what potential exists there to be able to cause that island to generate?
Well, let's look at Cat Island. Cat Island has some of the most phenomenal potential. Investors love the place. As a matter of fact, I understand that Cat Island is the third most requested place where European tourists wants to come. If you look at the second home owners in Cat Island, they want to see Cat Island grow. The PGA been waiting on this airport to be developed. You're going to tell me that there cannot be a strategic partnership with local government and these particular investors, etc., to be able to invest into infrastructure in the island. The government coming. There are numerous ways in which this can happen. Not only that, but when we look at the descendants from Cat Island, they're very successful. And what we're saying is they need to get back engaged. They need to be engaged in the development of their island. I believe Pinnock, that when we grant these communities, it hasn't been explored so far. And we want to explore that. We want to explore the creativity. We want to explore the full potential of developing these family islands rather than, listen, all of the ideas does not exist in central government. We believe that we ought to collectively get involved in the development of our communities.
I get your point and your philosophy about how you develop your island. Let's talk in these closing moments about your role as an individual, a potential member of parliament, if the people of Cat Island elects you to be their MP. What should they expect in terms of your influence in the government? Because we all know that in our current system, that unless a member of parliament happens to be a minister and have some clout to be able to get things done for his constituency by his influence at the cabinet table, very little. Very little gets done.
Well, let's talk about that.
So I have a specific question for you. You're asking the people of Cat Island to vote for you.
Right.
My question to you on their behalf is, what confidence do you have, or has Dr. Minnis given you, to say to the people of Cat Island, look, Gadville McDonald is going to play a significant role at the table, will have a seat at the table, to be able to make sure that Cat Island is taken care of?
Well, let's back up a bit. I told you that I played a significant role in the development of our family island development plan.
Yeah, but that's the plan. We're talking about a seat at the cabinet table.
Right. And so, first of all, we are having ongoing conversation. My colleagues and those who are part of the Free National Movement, we're family. We're connected. We love each other. And we listen to each other. Our leader listens.
Until you get elected,
our leader,
if you do.
No, our leader listens to us. And so what happens is out of these relationships emerge influence. We have influence among each other. We listen to each other. We respect each other. And so give me a minute, whether I'm a cabinet minister or not, it would not, and the potential of me being a cabinet minister is there. I mean, all of us, any one of us who are candidates today can become cabinet ministers. Listen, I believe that everything rises and falls on leadership. I believe that as the member of parliament for Cat Island, I must engage the system. I must engage it, and I must form partnership with those who are in the local, who are in the community of Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador. But not only that, I must form partnership and be able to have great level of influence among my colleagues. And I believe that I do. And I believe that I will be able to push forward any specific agenda on behalf of the people of Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador. I came here to fight for the people of Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador. My party knows that. My colleague knows that.
Question. Let me put a test to you. If the leader of the Free National Movement takes a position that creates a disadvantage, maybe not in any significant large way,
absolutely,
but takes a position that is disadvantageous to your constituency or your community, or is not living up to whatever commitments he would have made to you to help your constituency, what does a Gadville McDonald do?
For me, I would have been elected to represent the people of Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador. My allegiance is to them. First of all, my priority would be Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador.
Every member of parliament says that.
Right. I mean, yeah, but you know, how much of us have a plan? How much of us are willing to? And I'm asking for the opportunity to demonstrate that's what I would do. Right now, Cat Island name is hardly mentioned. Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador name is hardly mentioned in the House of Assembly unless they say the member from Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador. I want to make sure that I'm mentioning Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador as it relates to their needs, as it relates to their concern, as it relates to making sure that a better community, a better economy is developed in this place. And so what I'm saying is, Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador, they're going to hear their name in the House of Parliament more.
They want to hear
frequently.
More than their name.
Not only that, but in other words, I would be fighting for them. I would be able.
They want results.
Right.
I'm sure.
Absolutely, and that's why for me, right now, my focus is better ideas, a better vision, better results. All right? A better vision, better results. Because for me, and they would be able to grade me at the end of 5 years. So I wouldn't be coming back to them if I didn't complete some of the things that I committed to.
Are you willing to commit to the people of Cat Island and Rumpke and San Salvador now that if you fail to deliver the platform ideas that you have laid out before them, that you would not seek a second?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Say
because
it.
I listen, I will not come back to you if I fail to complete, fail to work aggressively on the issues, on the platform that I present to you, because that's what I'm about. My reason for being in this is because I believe that I can offer a better alternative, that your life would be better. And so at the end of 5 years, you be the judge. See if your life has been improved. See if there is employment in the island. See if the economy has been improved. See if your community is improved. See if there are youth programs that partners with you in order for you to bring up better young persons that will contribute to the overall development of the Bahamas as a whole.
And we'll keep a copy of this tape.
Absolutely.
And we
Absolutely.
will play it
Absolutely.
if you get the opportunity, before your term comes to an end.
Right, but here's what is so amazing. Here's what is so amazing, Pinar. Any representative knows that the first thing that you do is you have an ongoing conversation with the community. That has not been happening over the years. And so for me, I pledge to have this ongoing conversation with them. For the first 6 months after I'm elected as a member of parliament, I'll have monthly meetings in every one of those islands for the first 6 months. After that, we moved to quarterly meetings. Every quarter, we would have a meeting.
And
in other
if
words,
you're fortunate enough to become a cabinet minister, where would you get time to do that?
Same thing, because they are my priority. They are my priority. I will be having these meetings. Whether I'm appointed as a cabinet minister or not, my commitment is to my constituents.
Mr. McDonald, what do you say to the nation, to our country, as we look ahead in a matter of weeks to the upcoming election, and as we narrow down to the decision making of Bahamians making decisions as to who, what individual? First of all, I should ask, do you philosophically believe people should vote for the best candidates or the best party?
Well, I strongly believe that people should vote for the party that has prepared itself to lead them. Let me finish. That involves the candidate. I believe that we in the Free National Movement have put together the best slate of candidates.
So says the PLV.
But that's what I believe. I believe that we have put together the best. And you know who's going to be the judge of that? The Bahamian people. I believe that they understand that this is an opportunity for us to bring about real change in this country, that when they see our candidates, when they look at us, we are the real change agents. We've been preparing ourselves for this. We've prepared a comprehensive platform, a comprehensive manifesto that addresses their issues and their concerns, and we believe that we will be able to deliver on behalf of the Bahamian people. We are a result-oriented organization. We have a result-oriented leader who has a proven track record of producing results. He partners with us for transformation. He partners with us to be able to bring about better results in our community in the Bahamas at large. And I strongly believe that the Bahamas will be significantly better by electing the Free National Movement as the next government of the Bahamas.
What about Dr. Hubert Minnis that gives you the great confidence that you have? What about his leadership ability specifically that gives you the great confidence that he will be a uniter and someone that does all this listening that you talk about, so that there would be a team effort, if I can put it that way, based on your own feedback to us, and would make him different from the traditional political leader in the Bahamas, who have, I think Perry Christie might have departed from that some, it's safe to say. But the traditional leadership, not just in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean, has been very strong, very identity-oriented, a person who has a vision, sells that vision to their team, and then the team runs with that vision. What makes you feel confident that that will play out, as you've said?
Well, Dr. Minnis, by character, he's a very humble individual. One of the greatest characteristics of any leader is this idea called humility. The idea that you can learn from anyone. That you can learn from anyone. Failure to accept that reality would end up in disaster. A leader is a very humble individual. He's willing to learn from any one. He's open to ideas that will significantly transform this country. That's what he's been doing in the organization. He has been able to attract emerging leaders, young emerging leaders, which is one of the great intangibles of leadership, being able to attract emerging leaders, and means then that our country will be in safe hands, because we are qualified, we are ready to lead this country, and he listens to us. He doesn't believe that he knows it all. He believes in the collective genius of all of us. All right? And I believe that we all would be able to work together to bring about change in this country, change that we've been dreaming of, change that we've been praying for, change that we have been asking for.
Where do you stand on the hot button issues that many Bahamians are concerned about? We know the economy could use significant injection and improvement.
Absolutely.
Balmar is getting ready to open, and much has been talked about. But then again, this is election season, and people weigh that because of the season we're in. But what is your position on capital punishment?
Well, you know, I'm a Bible man. I'm a Bible man, and I've looked at that over the years, and I think my little review have been emerging over the years on that. I strongly believe that when we fail to carry out laws that are on the book, that we breed a lawless society. And so I'm strong on literally adhering to laws of this country. If it's on the book, we ought to carry it out. If not, move it from the books, because we have to be careful what we're modeling out. And capital punishment is on the book, and I believe that beyond that, I mean, that may not be the solution in itself, but surely enough, it would help.
So for those who are looking for justice, should they put Gadville McDonald in the category of being strongly in favor or lukewarm about capital punishment?
Well, I personally, I'm for capital punishment. I believe in it along with some other.
Would you push for it as a parliamentarian?
What I would push for is more jobs, a better economy, because I believe that's at the root of some of the crime that is happening in this country.
So you wouldn't push for it?
I would push for, no, give me a second. I push for anti-corruption measures and what we are about, because I believe that's at the core of what's happening in this country. But I believe that, and I would push for reform. Now, at the same time, that doesn't leave out capital punishment. I'm for capital punishment.
And the question is, would you push for it?
It's
a different view. I'm for something, but I mean, it doesn't matter that much.
I mean, no. That's not what I'm saying. What I believe is it does not stand alone, and so I would push for that along with some other issues, some other things.
Where do you stand on? There's a new emerging world on social issues like gay marriage and so many other things. Where do you stand on that?
I'm a pastor. I'm a pastor.
There's some pastors marrying men and women.
And I believe that marriage ought to be between a man and a woman.
And you are unapologetic?
Absolutely.
About that?
Absolutely.
There are many social issues plaguing our country, and many challenges that our country faces. Whoever the next government is, it should be every Bahamian's job to pray for and root for that government to succeed, whether it's on the issue of crime or other issues that the country, ailments that the countries face. And so in this closing minute, I will want to give you an opportunity to share what your vision is for a future Bahamas. You are a young generational thinker. You represent a lot of young people. Whether you win or don't win in this upcoming election, you are making a mark. You're having an opportunity to impact lives. What say you about the future of our country?
You know, I strongly believe that we have a unique opportunity at this present time to build a new and better Bahamas, of individuals who are focused and are committed to doing deep dive on this economy, doing deep dive on the possibilities of what it is to be a Bahamian. We have done that in the Free National Movement. Myself, in particular, focus more on family island development, because that's where my heart is. That's the community that I seek to represent. That's where I grew up. And so I believe that we have an opportunity now to tap into the untapped potentials in these family islands, that the future development of the Bahamas rests within these family islands. We have prepared the policies that are transformational. We are prepared the policies that will seek to improve local government, more involvement with the locals so that we can partner together to develop a better family island, a better Bahamas. We have put together a comprehensive plan as it relates to improving the economy in these islands, and we would like an opportunity to implement them. We would like an opportunity to partner with you. You're talking about government jumpstart economies, where the government would literally partner with you and make sure that you have an economy by putting in place certain things that will get your economy going. It will be our what we call economic affirmative action in some of these family islands. There are a number of other significant policies that we've put together that would move the islands forward. Right now, we believe that a lot of individuals ought to be moving back into these family islands, so we have what is called Back to the Island initiative, that it involves a number of incentives that will be driving people back to the island. We want to develop the Bahamas as a whole. I believe that that is a model that will work. I believe that that is a model that will be successful for us moving forward, and I encourage everybody to vote for the Free National Movement candidate in your constituency. I'm Gadville McDonald. I'm running for Kid Island, Rum Keens in Salvador, and I'm looking forward to support from the people of Kid Island, Rum Keens in Salvador.
And I think we have to bill you for that infomercial. You're watching Nation Building. Thank you so much for joining us today. Stay tuned for next edition of Nation Building when we bring you another informative and educational program for you.